Dear colleagues and Specify Consortium members, I'm glad to join the meeting and to tell a story about Specify going to Northwestern Siberia and to Russia as a whole. And welcome from Khanty-Mansiysk in the northern part of West Siberia. In my presentation, I will shortly stop on the history of digitization initiatives in Russia and development of national information systems for the collections data management. Then I will go to our regional initiative on biodiversity data mobilization in the northwestern Siberia, and then stop on our practices with Specify and activities in our region and in Russia on the promotion of the product and making it easier usable in Russian language. The history of biodiversity collections digitization in Russia started about 20 years ago with the onset of computer technologies, and the first wave of this activity being in the 19th, coming to the Tadvik annual meeting being organized in St. Petersburg in 2005. But these activities didn't produce a single entry point to all Russian collections, and worse, many of the information systems developed during this time don't work now or not updated presently. The initiative seems subsided after this wave of activity to again reappear during the recent 5 or 7 years. Currently, the community around biodiversity data mobilization is quite active, and importantly, it has an informal GBIF working group, which helps to finally integrate all this data. This activity resulted in organization of a regular conference, Information Technologies in Biodiversity Research, held in different towns across Russia, and the next is coming in Novosibirsk in 2022. This conference commonly has practical part, including workshops on data publishing and other tools important in biodiversity data mobilization. The activity reached these numbers. There are more than 100 publishing organizations from Russia and more than 3 million published occurrences. About half of those are preserved specimens. This shows that the collections are actively digitized and mobilized through GBIF and with help of other information systems and portals. And it would be interesting to show which information systems are used here. Unfortunately, we still don't have a complete information resource about collections metadata, but for this presentation, I used GBIF metadata to analyze the collections and their portals. Totally 32 organizations are publishing preserved specimens now, which are using about 11 different online systems or portals. The largest being the NOIA ARC information system portal and portal by Moscow State University. Then goes CRIS, an informal community around a system, and some external products like Microtech and Specify. Generally, large institutions or collections are using their own product developed by this organization. On the other side, there is actually no distributed software for collection management in Russia. Therefore, smaller organizations are starting to join the larger portals, forming a network. Like NOIA ARC is growing in this direction, joining other organizations to form a network, and so is CRIS. And on the other side, the smaller organizations often have their collections locally and publish them to GBIF directly. Now here is example of the largest data publisher, Moscow State University, with its portal NOIA ARC project portal. And now coming to our regional initiative. Due to the large country size, the initiative on biodiversity data mobilization is better performed as a network of organizations in each region. Thus, we started to develop such a node for the Northwestern Siberian organizations. This includes the tasks as collaboration, promotion of open data model, mobilization support in form of education and technical support, and data analysis and use. In frame of this program, we started to use Specify installation for regional collections management and data publishing. Our history of Specify use is not long. I started with my personal macrofungi collection management in 2015, and the development of the regional installation started in 2018. Currently, we have both Specify 6 and 7 and web portal for external access. Now, coming closer to Specify in practical terms. Our main features are listed here. The web portal is used to host 6 collections, snapshots, and attachment server for pictures management, including publishing them in GBIF. The Specify 6 installed on our university server, and the manager using this to maintain the installation, while the regular users use Specify 7 for distant access. We have only 2 disciplines for now, but plan to enlarge. And all the collections are published in GBIF through SQL query on regular basis. A little bit more about tools and pathways which we use, but generally I think that we use the most common and basic tools, nothing special developed yet. Like we are preparing own labels and reports, using barcodes, managing forms, using one collection relationship, creating loans and gifts, etc. And I'm learning a lot from this Forum event from all different practices and workflows. And now coming to the educational part about Specify, which we are currently developing in the region and in Russia. Most importantly, we are helping to Maxim with the Russian localization now, which will help a lot to not English-speaking users. Then, some time ago, we prepared translation of basic information from Specify website, and it is published on our webpage. Recently, I have been trying to prepare Russian helpcast videos. 7 of them are published on our YouTube channel, as a draft version maybe, but we will continue. And soon we will organize the first offline workshop for the Specify users at the regional conference in Yugra. And coming to the last slides, it is important to promote Specify among Russian organizations because, as I said, there is a lack of such software in Russia. And working together with the GBIF in Russia team, we organized a national Specify working group. This includes all organizations, all 3 organizations using Specify in Russia. We weren't very active before, but at least we stayed in contact and know each other. And here, these organizations, the Specify is implemented by Zoological Museum of Moscow State University, even though they have their own portal, Noya Arc, but for some reason, they prefer use Specify for this particular collection. The collections are mainly invertebrates. They use Specify 6 and attachment server, but have problems with implementation of Specify 7 so far. The second organization here is the Shirshov Institute of Oceanology, which uses Specify 6 for their deep sea fauna and fish collections. To maintain communication between these organizations, we created Google Mail to share news and discussions. And we have a web page on the GBF.ru website to post translations and other information. And also sharing experience of some bureaucratic procedures is important. Like in this cartoon, it is in Russian, but I showed two pathways of life of specify user. The first is real work with installations, different packages, and managing many, creating many collections. And the second part is bureaucratic path to receive signature to reach ministries for signature the agreement for the specified consortium membership. And luckily at the end of this way we have this signature now, and we are members of the consortium. But the logistics of this procedure is important to know. It is also published on our Specify in Russia page. Conclusions: we have some problems, but we also have the solutions. The main problem is the lack of education and IT support, but the solution is organization of different events and educational materials for training and for learning. And the next major event in biodiversity informatics in Russia will be in Novosibirsk, which is also Western Siberia. And maybe we could organize a training session with specified team during this event too. Thank you for your attention.